The jungle smelled of blood and rain. Takresh moved through the thick plants with silent steps. His scales caught the dim light that came through the trees above. Behind him, 3 others from his pack followed. They had been hunting for 2 days now. The creature they tracked was fast and dangerous. It had killed one of their young hunters 3 moons ago. Now they would have their revenge. That was the way of the Vral people. Honor demanded blood for blood. Takresh stopped and raised his clawed hand. The others froze. He tilted his head and listened. His long ears twitched as they caught sounds that human ears would miss. Something was wrong. The forest had gone too quiet, then he heard it. A small sound. A whimper. Not from their prey. Something else. He moved toward the sound, forgetting the hunt for a moment. His pack followed with confused growls. Why did their leader leave the trail? Takresh pushed through a wall of thick leaves and stopped. There, hidden behind a fallen tree, was a small human child. A female, he thought. She wore torn clothes covered in mud and blood. Her dark hair stuck to her face. Wide eyes stared up at him with pure terror. Every instinct in Takresh's body screamed. His muscles tensed. His claws extended without thought. She was prey, small, weak, easy to kill. The predator inside him wanted to strike, but something stopped him. The child made a small sound and pressed herself against the tree. She was trying to make herself smaller, trying to disappear. He had seen young Vral do the same thing when they were scared. She was a child. Just a child. Takresh's second-in-command, Rekthar, came up beside him. The larger Vral warrior looked at the human and hissed with pleasure. Easy prey. We take her back as trophy. No. The word came out as a deep growl from Takresh's throat. Rekthar turned to him with surprise. No, she is nothing. Weak human child. We could... A roar split the air. All 4 Vral warriors spun around. Through the trees came the creature they had been hunting. It was massive, covered in thick armor plates. 6 legs carried its bulk forward with terrible speed. Its mouth had too many teeth, and it was looking at the human child. Takresh understood in an instant. The beast had been stalking her. She was injured and alone. Easy food. The creature had probably been circling her for hours, waiting for the right moment. The girl screamed. The sound was high and filled with fear. She tried to run, but her leg was hurt. She fell. Takresh moved before he could think. He jumped between the child and the charging beast. His fighting blade came out in a smooth motion. The other Vral warriors spread out without needing orders. They had fought together for years. The beast hit Takresh like a falling tree. He was thrown back, but managed to slash his blade across its face. Green blood sprayed. The creature roared in pain and rage. Drive it back. Takresh shouted to his pack. Protect the small one. What? Rekthar sounded confused, but he fought anyway. That was the warrior way. The battle was quick and brutal. The beast was strong, but it was alone. 5 Vral warriors knew how to fight as one. They cut and stabbed and dodged. Finally, the creature decided they were too much trouble. It roared one last time and crashed away through the jungle. Silence fell. Takresh's chest heaved as he breathed hard. Green beast blood mixed with his own red blood on his scales. He had taken a bad hit to his side. Behind him, the human child was crying. Small scared sounds that made something twist inside his chest. He turned slowly. He did not want to scare her more than she already was. His pack gathered around him. They were all staring at him with questions in their eyes. Why did you do that? Rekthar demanded. She is nothing to us. Food for the beast or food for us? What does it matter? Takresh looked down at the small human. She had stopped crying, but tears still ran down her dirty face. She looked up at him with those big eyes. Scared. So very scared, but also something else. Hope, trust. She is a child, Takresh said quietly. The beast would have eaten her. That is not a warrior's death. That is just cruel. She is not our kind, another warrior said. Why do we care? Takresh had no good answer. He only knew that walking away felt wrong. Leaving her here alone felt wrong. Letting the beast return for her felt wrong. I will take her back to her people, he said finally. His pack made sounds of disbelief. One laughed. The humans will kill you on sight. They fear us, hate us. You walk up to their colony with one of their children and they will shoot first and ask questions never. Takresh knew this was true. The Vral and humans had fought small battles on many worlds. There was no friendship between their kinds. No trust. But he looked down at the child again. She had pulled herself up using the fallen tree. Her leg was definitely injured. Blood ran from cuts on her arms and face. She would not last the night alone in this jungle. Then they shoot me, Takresh said. But I will not leave a child to die like this. My honor will not allow it. He bent down slowly. The girl pressed back against the tree. He made his voice as soft as he could. It still came out as a deep rumble. I will not hurt you, small one. I will take you home. She did not understand his words. Humans and Vral did not share language. But something in his tone must have reached her. Slowly, very slowly, she reached out one small hand. Takresh carefully picked her up. She was so light, so fragile. He could break her with one hand without even trying. The predator in him whispered how easy it would be. He ignored that voice. The girl grabbed onto his armor with both hands. She was shaking. But she did not fight him. This is foolish, Rekthar said, but he fell in behind Takresh. The others did the same. They would follow their leader even into foolish choices. That was the way of the pack. Takresh began the long walk toward the human colony. The girl's head rested against his chest. He could feel her small heart beating fast like a frightened bird. What would the humans do when they saw him? Would they understand he was trying to help? Would they see a monster carrying their child and open fire? Probably, but he kept walking anyway. The sun was setting. The jungle was growing dark. And somewhere behind them, the beast still waited. The human colony's lights appeared through the trees ahead. Takresh's warriors spread out, alert for danger. The girl stirred in his arms and made a small sound. Home, he said, though she could not understand. I bring you home. Guards would see them soon. Weapons would be raised. Everything would go very wrong very quickly. But at least the child would have a chance. That was all that mattered. The alarm screamed through New Busan Station like a wounded animal. Red lights flashed in every corridor. People ran to their emergency stations. Children were pulled from playgrounds and rushed to safe rooms deep inside the colony. Hyun was in the mining office when he heard. His daughter's name came over the emergency channel, Jiwoo, missing in the jungle. Search team had found signs of her, but also signs of something worse. Vral warriors in the area, blood on the ground. His world stopped. Then it started again too fast. His heart slammed in his chest. His hands shook as he grabbed his coat and ran. By the time he reached the colony's main gate, a crowd had gathered. Security Chief Day stood on the wall with a rifle in his hands. Other guards were taking positions. Everyone looked scared and angry. What happened? Hyun shouted up at Day. Where is my daughter? Day looked down at him. The old soldier's face was hard. Stay back, Hyun, we have a situation. That's my daughter out there, I know. And we're going to get her back. Hyun climbed the ladder to the wall before anyone could stop him. What he saw made his blood turn cold. 4 Vral warriors stood at the edge of the clearing. They were huge, each one at least 7 feet tall. Their scales reflected the colony's lights. Claws. Teeth. Everything about them said danger. Said death, and the largest one was holding Jiwoo. Hyun made a sound he did not recognize. Part scream, part prayer. He tried to jump off the wall, but Day caught him. Let me go. That thing has my daughter. Look, Day pointed. Just look at her. Hyun stopped fighting and looked. Really looked. Jiwoo was in the Vral's arms. She was not tied up, not being held roughly. She was just there. Her head rested against the creature's chest. She looked hurt. Blood on her clothes, but alive. Why aren't they doing anything? Someone asked. Why are they just standing there? The Vral leader took a step forward. Every gun on the wall pointed at him. He stopped. Made a deep sound. Not a growl exactly, more like a call. He's trying to communicate, said a voice behind them. Soon he, the colony's medical officer, had climbed up too. She had binoculars pressed to her face. Look at his body language. He's not aggressive. His claws are pulled in. He's holding Jiwoo carefully. He's a Vral warrior, Day said. They're all aggressive. It's probably some kind of trap. With what goal? Soon he asked. If they wanted to attack us, they would attack. If they wanted to use Jiwoo as a hostage, they'd be making demands. They're just standing there, with a hurt child. Hyun stared at his daughter. She looked so small in the alien's arms, so fragile. But she was not struggling. She was not screaming. She was just holding on. I'm going down there, Hyun said. Absolutely not, Day replied. We don't negotiate with... They have my daughter. Hyun's voice broke. I have to try. Before Day could stop him, Hyun was climbing down the wall. He heard people shouting behind him, but he did not stop. The gate was sealed, but there was a small door for foot traffic. He opened it. "Hyun, don't!" Day yelled. Hyun stepped through. The evening air hit him. He was outside the colony walls, outside safety. The Vral warriors all turned to look at him. "Ji-woo!" he called out. "Baby, it's Daddy." The little girl's head snapped up. "Daddy?" Her voice was small and scared, but she was alive. She was talking. The Vral leader made another sound. He took a step forward. Every guard on the wall tensed. "Hold your fire," soon he shouted. "Just watch." Hyun took a step forward too. His legs shook. His mouth was dry, but he kept moving. One step, then another. The Vral warrior watched him with orange eyes that caught the light. They were now only 20 feet apart. Hyun could see the alien's face clearly. Scales, sharp teeth, but also something else. Something in those eyes that looked almost concerned. The Vral bent down slowly. He set Ji-woo on the ground with gentle care. The little girl's leg was hurt. She could not stand well. She started to fall. The Vral caught her, steadied her. Then he stepped back. Ji-woo looked at the alien, then at her father. Then she tried to walk. She took 3 steps and fell. Hyun ran forward and caught her. He wrapped his arms around her and started crying. "I've got you. I've got you. You're safe now." A shot rang out. Hyun looked up in horror. One of the guards had fired. The bullet hit the ground near the Vral warriors. They all jumped back. The leader spread his arms wide. "Protecting his pack, cease fire." Day's voice boomed. "Who fired?" "Stand down!" "All of you stand down." But the damage was done. The Vral warriors were growling now, low and dangerous. They thought they were being attacked. Their claws came out. Fighting stances. "No, no, no," Hyun whispered. He stood up, holding Ji-woo. He looked at the Vral leader. "You brought her back. You saved her." The alien did not understand his words, but it tilted its head. Watching, soon he had run through the gate now. She came up beside Hyun with her medical bag. "Let me see her," she said, kneeling down. She checked Ji-woo quickly. The little girl whimpered but held still. Cuts, bruises, sprained ankle. Nothing life-threatening. She'll be fine. Soon he looked up at the Vral warriors. They took care of her. "Look, these cuts are cleaned." Someone wrapped her ankle with leaves. "That's basic field medicine." "They did that?" Hyun asked. "Someone did. And it wasn't random. It was done with knowledge." The Vral leader made another sound. He pointed at Ji-woo, then at himself, then at the jungle behind him. He was trying to tell them something. "He's saying he found her," soon he said quietly. "He's saying he helped her." "How do you know that?" "I don't, but look at him." "Really look. That's not a monster. That's someone trying to communicate." More colonists had come out now. They surrounded the gate area. Some looked angry. Some looked scared. All of them looked confused. Then something moved in the jungle. Something big. The Vral warriors all spun around instantly. "Battle ready." The leader growled and pointed into the trees. Hyun saw it for just a second. Something massive and armored. Multiple legs, too many teeth. It pulled back into the shadows, but he had seen enough. "There's something out there," he said. "Something they're watching." The Vral leader looked back at Hyun. He pointed at Ji-woo again, then at the jungle. Then he made a slashing motion with his claws. The meaning was clear. Danger, beast, death. He's been protecting her from that thing. Soon he breathed. That's why he brought her here, to keep her safe. Day had come through the gate with 10 armed guards. They formed a line between the colonists and the Vral warriors. But the old soldier was watching everything with careful eyes. "Stand down," he said to his guards. "Keep weapons ready, but do not fire unless I give the order." One of the younger guards spoke up. "Sir, they're Vral. We know what they do. We've heard the stories. And we just saw a Vral warrior return an injured human child unharmed," Day replied. "That's not a story I've heard before." The Vral leader made a gesture with his hands, slow and careful. He touched his own chest. Then he pointed at Ji-woo. Then he put his hands together. Not a threatening gesture, almost a plea. "He wants us to understand," soon he said. "He wants us to know he's not our enemy." "Can you talk to him?" Hyun asked. "Can you tell him thank you?" "I don't speak Vral. Neither does anyone here." From the back of the crowd, an older man pushed forward. "I do. A little. From my university days." He looked nervous but determined. This was Young-Soo, one of the colony's researchers. I studied xenolinguistics. I know maybe 50 words, maybe. He stepped forward carefully. The Vrel warriors watched him. He raised his hands to show he was unarmed. Then he made a series of sounds. Clicks and growls that hurt human throats to make. The Vrel leader's head snapped toward him. Orange eyes went wide. He responded with his own series of sounds. Young-Soo listened carefully. Made more sounds? The Vrel replied. They went back and forth for a moment. Then Young-Soo turned to the crowd. His name is Takresh. He says he found Jiwoo being hunted by a territory beast. He says he drove it away. He says he brought her here because children should be with their people. Young-Soo paused. He says honor demanded it. The crowd was silent. No one seemed to know what to say. These were Vrel warriors. The monsters from a dozen stories. The killers from 3 different wars. But this one had saved a human child and asked nothing in return. Takresh made more sounds. Young-Soo translated. He says the beast is still out there. He says it will try again. He says his pack will watch tonight to make sure it does not return. Why? Day asked. Why would he do that? Young-Soo asked the question. Takresh's answer was simple. The old researcher translated with wonder in his voice. He says because she is a child, and children must be protected. Hyun looked at the alien warrior, at the creature that could have killed his daughter with one swipe of its claws. Instead, it had carried her through a dangerous jungle, had cleaned her wounds, had brought her home. Tell him thank you, Hyun said quietly. Please tell him. Tell him I owe him everything. Young-Soo translated. Takresh tilted his head. Then he touched his chest and nodded. A warrior's acknowledgement. The Vrel warriors began to back away into the jungle. They moved like shadows. Within seconds they had vanished into the darkness. But Hyun had a feeling they were still out there. Still watching. Still guarding. Get Jiwoo to the medical center, Day ordered. Everyone else back inside. I want double watches tonight. And someone find me everything we know about Vrel culture. We need to understand what... Morning came with strange silence. The jungle made no sounds. The birds did not sing. Even the insects seemed to be holding their breath. Takresh sat in a tree overlooking the human colony. He had not slept. His pack was spread out through the forest, watching from different positions. They were all tired, all confused about why they were still here. We should leave, Rekthar said from a nearby branch. The child is safe. Our honor is satisfied. There is no reason to stay. Takresh said nothing. He was watching the colony walls. Guards moved back and forth. They looked tired too. They had been alert all night expecting attack. From the beast or from the Vrel, they probably did not know which, but there had been no attack. The territory beast had come close once during the night. Takresh had heard it moving through the undergrowth, but it had stayed back. Perhaps it sensed too many predators in one place. Perhaps it was not hungry enough to risk everything, or perhaps it was just waiting for the right moment. The beast is still here, Takresh said finally. It wants the humans now. It knows there is easy prey behind those walls. Not our problem, another warrior said. His name was Dek and he was young, impatient. Let the humans deal with their own troubles. They cannot fight what they do not understand, Takresh replied. Their weapons are strong, but the beast is smart. It will find a way. Again, not our problem. Takresh looked at the young warrior. If you wish to leave, leave. I will not stop you. Dek looked away. No Vrel warrior would abandon their pack leader. It was unthinkable. But Takresh could see the question in his eyes. In all their eyes. Why are we doing this? He did not have a good answer. Only that leaving felt wrong. Movement below caught his attention. The small door in the colony wall opened. 3 humans stepped out. The father from last night, the medical female, and the old male who could speak some Vrel words. They walked into the clearing. The father, Hyun, was holding something. It looked like food wrapped in cloth. Soon he carried a medical case. Young-Soo carried a device that blinked with lights. Takresh watched them carefully. They did not have weapons. They moved slowly, carefully. They were trying not to seem threatening. They come with offerings, Rekthar observed. What do we do? Takresh considered. His people did not accept charity. To take gifts without earning them was shameful. But to refuse a gift was also an insult. The situation was complicated. He dropped from the tree and landed softly on the ground. His pack followed his lead. They emerged from the forest like shadows, surrounding the three humans in seconds. The humans froze. Fear showed on their faces, but they held their ground. Takresh had to respect that. Many species would have run. Young-Soo made the greeting sounds he had used last night. Rough and poorly pronounced, but understandable. Takresh replied with his own greeting. The old human spoke again. Slow words, simple words. Takresh caught maybe half of them. Something about thanks, something about help, something about food and healing. He unstepped forward. He held out the wrapped bundle. Takresh could smell cooked meat inside. His stomach growled. They had not eaten since before finding the small human, but accepting food from those he had not hunted with felt wrong. He growled and shook his head. Hyun looked confused. He said something to Young-Soo. The old male made more sounds at Takresh. Question sounds, how could Takresh explain? In Vral culture, you earned your food through hunting, through contributing to the pack. These humans had not hunted with him. They owed him nothing. He owed them nothing. The child had been returned. Honor was satisfied. Soon he stepped forward. She pointed at Takresh's side. At the wound from yesterday's battle with the beast. She made gestures, cleaning, bandaging, healing. Takresh looked down at the injury. It was not deep, but it was not clean either. Beast saliva could cause infection. He had been ignoring it, but now that the female pointed it out, it did ache badly. He looked at his pack. They all had small injuries, cuts, bruises, battle marks from yesterday. None serious, but none pleasant either. Soon he seemed to understand his hesitation. She opened her medical case and showed him the supplies inside. Then she pointed at herself, at her pack, then at his pack. She was saying they were the same. Healers, warriors, people who protected others. Something in that gesture made sense to Takresh. He nodded slowly. Soon his face broke into a smile. She gestured for him to sit. He did, feeling strange, vulnerable. Warriors did not show weakness, but this female had kind eyes, careful hands. She cleaned his wound with something that stung. He growled but held still. She made soothing sounds, the same sounds he had heard human mothers make to crying children. It was oddly comforting. While she worked on him, Young-Soo set up his blinking device. It made sounds, strange beeps and clicks. The old male spoke into it, and it spoke back in Vral. Rough and mechanical, but clear. Translation device, Young-Soo said through the machine. I am downloading Vral language database. It will help us speak. Takresh tilted his head. You have all Vral words in small box? Some, not all, but enough to talk better. This was good. Takresh had many questions. But before he could ask them, Hyun spoke. The translator device buzzed and clicked. Why did you save my daughter? The question hung in the air. Takresh's pack all looked at him. They wanted to know too. She was child, Takresh said simply. Beast was hunting her. That is not honorable death. But she is not your kind. Why care? Takresh thought about this. Does child need to be my kind to deserve protection? Is there different kind of child? Or just child? The translator struggled with his words, but the meaning got through. Hyun's eyes went wide. He looked at Young-Soo. At Soon-hee, they all seemed surprised. Where I come from, Hyun said slowly. Many would say yes. Different kinds of children. Some more important than others. That is... Takresh searched for the word. Wrong, child is child. Weak thing that needs protecting. Warrior who abandons child is no warrior. It's just killer. Soon he finished bandaging his wound. She moved to Rekthar next. The large warrior growled but allowed it. Soon she was treating all the Vral injuries. Her touch was gentle but skilled. Professional. You heal warriors? Takresh asked her. I heal anyone who needs healing, she replied through the translator. That is my job. My purpose, even enemies. Are you my enemy? Takresh considered. I do not know. Vral and humans have fought before. On other worlds. Other times. Much blood. Much anger. But not here, not now. Not between us. No. Not between us. Hyun unwrapped the food bundle again. He broke the cooked meat into pieces and held them out. Not as charity. As sharing. As equal sharing a meal. Takresh understood the difference. He took a piece. It was good. Spiced with things he did not recognize but pleasant. His pack followed his lead. Soon they were all eating together. Humans and Vrel, enemies who were not enemies. The beast, Takresh said between bites. It is still danger. It will attack colony. When? Day had come through the door now with several guards. They kept their distance, but they were listening. Soon. Maybe tonight. Maybe tomorrow. It is angry, hungry. It sees your walls and thinks they are challenge. Can you help us fight it? Dee asked. The question surprised everyone. Even his own guards looked shocked. You ask Vral to fight beside humans, Rekthar said. He sounded amused. This is strange, Day. You already fought it once. To save one of ours. Would you fight it again? To save all of us? Takresh looked at his pack. They were all watching him, waiting for his decision. This was bigger than saving one child. This was alliance. This was choosing a side. What do you offer? He asked. It was a practical question. Fair question. What do you want? Hunting territory. There is Valley 3 mountains north. Good prey, no humans there. We want it, no fights with humans over land. Day thought about this. The northern valley. That's outside our mining claims. Far from the colony. I can agree to that. In exchange for your help defending the colony. One more thing, Takresh said. When Beast is dead, we take body. Beast that size will feed pack for 1 month. Maybe 2. That is our payment also. Done. Day held out his hand. Human greeting gesture. Takresh had seen it before, but never done it. He reached out and took the human's hand. They gripped, firm, equal, a promise between warriors. We fight together then, Takresh said. Tonight, when Beast comes, but we do it my way. Your weapons, our knowledge combined. Agreed, Youngsu spoke up. I should tell you something. About humans. About why we fight so hard to protect our own. Yes? Takresh was curious. Humans on Earth, our homeworld, we were not always strong. We were prey once, hunted by bigger animals, stronger animals. We survived because we formed groups, packs, and we protected each other. Not just family. Not just blood. Anyone in the group, he paused. Over time, humans started accepting others into our groups. Other tribes. Other races. Even animals, dogs, cats, birds, we made them family. Protected them like our own children. It is what we do. We adopt, we protect. We guard our own. And our own can mean anyone we choose. Takresh listened to this with growing understanding. This is why you did not kill me when I held the child. You were deciding if I was enemy or if I could be. Pack? Maybe, yes, I think so. And now? What am I now? Hyun spoke. His voice was firm, certain. Now you are someone who saved my daughter. Someone who stood watch all night to keep her safe. The sun was setting when the beast made its move. Takresh had known it would come at this time. Most predators hunted at dusk when prey could not see well, when shadows made every shape uncertain. He stood on the colony wall with Day and a human named Minna. She was young but carried herself like a warrior. Former soldier, Dee had said. She understood tactics. That was good. They would need tactics tonight. There, Takresh pointed to movement in the tree line. It circles. Looking for weak point in your walls. Minna raised her rifle and looked through the scope. I see it. Big ugly thing. What's the best way to kill it? Armor plates protect most of body. Weak spots are joints. Behind front legs, under throat. But to reach those places, you must be close. Very close. How close? Close enough to die if you miss. Minna whistled low. Great, just great. My favorite kind of fight. Down in the colony yard, people were preparing. Not just soldiers. Everyone who could hold a weapon. Miners with plasma cutters. Engineers with improvised explosives. Even the cooks had knives. The colony administrator, a stern woman named Tae Yang, had ordered full mobilization. We cannot let it breach the walls, she had said in the emergency meeting. If it gets inside, the children are exposed. That cannot happen. Takresh respected her. She reminded him of pack mothers. Fierce. Protective. Ready to kill or die for the young. His own pack was positioned at key points around the perimeter. Rekthar was on the east wall. Deck on the west. Others spread out to cover blind spots. They had spent the day learning the colony's layout. Understanding its defenses. Finding its weaknesses. The beast would find those weaknesses too. It was smart, patient, deadly. Movement. A guard shouted. South wall. Everyone spun. But it was a trick. The beast crashed through the north gate a moment later. The huge predator had circled completely around while they were looking the wrong way. It slammed into the gate with tremendous force. Metal screamed. The gate bent inward but held. Barely. Open fire, Day commanded. Rifles barked. Plasma bolts sizzled. The beast roared as shots hit its armored hide. Most bounced off. Some burned through to flesh. It was hurt but not stopped. It hit the gate again. This time the metal gave way. The gate crashed inward. The beast pushed through the gap. Fall back, Day shouted. Draw it into the kill zone. The humans retreated in organized groups, covering each other, firing as they moved. They were good. Well trained. But the beast was faster. It lunged forward and caught a guard. The man screamed. His friends fired desperately. Takresh jumped from the wall. He fell 20 feet and landed in a crouch. His pack joined him. They rushed the beast from the side. Rekthar got there first. He slashed at the beast's rear leg. His claws found the joint where armor did not reach. Green blood sprayed. The beast roared and spun. It caught Rekthar with its tail and sent him flying into a building. Takresh went for the throat, the weak spot under its jaw, but the beast was ready. It snapped at him with jaws that could crush stone. He barely rolled away in time. Concentrate fire on its legs, Minna shouted. Slow it down! Plasma bolts hit the beast's joints. It stumbled. Dek took advantage and hamstrung its back right leg. The beast collapsed on that side, but it was far from beaten. It thrashed and snapped and killed anything that came close. A young colonist got too eager, rushed in with a mining laser. The beast's claw took him in the chest. He went down and did not get up. Hold positions, Day commanded. Wear it down. Don't give it single targets. But the beast was learning too. It stopped charging blindly, started using the buildings as cover, picking its attacks. It was adapting. This is not working, Takresh said to Day. Beast is too smart. It will eventually win. What do you suggest? I get its attention. You shoot throat when it opens to bite me. That's suicide. Maybe, but it is only chance. When beast focuses on kill, it forgets defense. That is when you strike. Day looked at him. Really looked at him. You're serious. You'd die for people you barely know. I would die to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is what warriors do. Minna spoke up. I'll do it. I'm faster than you, no offense. And I know how to dodge big predators. Fought crag bears on New Sol. 2 is better than 1, Takresh decided. We both draw attention. Give more chances, Day wanted to argue. But he knew they were right. Fine, but you give me 3 clear seconds. That's all I need. Takresh and Minna moved into position. They separated, coming at the beast from different angles. The creature was tearing through a storage building looking for hiding colonists. Hey, ugly, Minna shouted. She fired her rifle at the beast's face. Over here. The beast turned, focused on her. Started to charge. Takresh hit it from behind, claws raking its back leg. Green blood flowed. The beast spun on him instead, opened its massive jaws, roared its fury. Now, Takresh shouted. Day fired. 1 perfect shot. The plasma bolt entered the beast's open mouth and exploded out the back of its skull. The huge creature stood for 1 moment. 2. Then it fell. The ground shook when it hit. Silence. Everyone waited, making sure it was really dead. The beast did not move. A cheer went up from the colonists. They had won. They had survived, but the victory was short-lived. A child screamed. From the residential area, behind where everyone was focused on the beast, Takresh's blood went cold. There was a second beast. He ran. His pack ran. The humans ran. They all rushed toward the scream. Another territory beast, slightly smaller than the first, had broken through a weak point in the east wall. It was inside the residential section, where the children were hiding. Rekthar was there, blocking the path to the safe room. He was bleeding badly. His arm hung at wrong angle. But he still stood between the beast and the door. Behind that door, Takresh could hear children crying. Rekthar! Takresh shouted. His second looked back. Protect the small ones. That was the order. The beast lunged. Rekthar dodged, but too slowly. Claws caught his side. He went down. Takresh hit the beast like a missile. Pure rage drove him. His claws found eyes. His teeth found throat. They rolled together across the ground. A tangle of predators fighting to the death. The humans arrived. They could not shoot without hitting Takresh. Minna moved in with a long knife. She drove it into the beast's side again. Soon he was there too, not with weapons but with medical supplies. She went straight to Rekthar, started working on his injuries even as the battle raged nearby. Takresh felt the beast's teeth find his shoulder. Pain exploded. But he did not let go. He bit down harder on the beast's throat, tasted blood. His. The beast's. Did not matter. Deck appeared from somewhere. He brought a piece of broken pipe. Heavy metal. He swung it like a club and crushed the beast's skull. Once, twice, 3 times. Finally, the second beast went still. Takresh rolled off it. Everything hurt. His shoulder was torn badly. He could see bone. That was not good, but he was alive. He looked at the safe room door. Still closed. Still intact. The children inside were safe. Medic, someone shouted. We need a medic here. Soon he was already there. She looked at Takresh's shoulder and her face went pale. That's bad. That's really bad. Rekthar first, Takresh said. He stood alone. I'm fine, Rekthar growled. But he was not fine. He had lost too much blood. Soon he worked frantically. More medical staff arrived. They brought equipment, bandages, something for pain. They worked on both Vral warriors without hesitation, treating them like any other patient. The safe room door opened. Children poured out. Human children. They saw the dead beast, saw the wounded warriors, saw the blood. Jiwoo was there. She pushed through the other children and ran to Takresh. You're hurt. The big lizard man is hurt. I am fine, small one, Takresh said. Even that hurt. You saved us again, she said. Tears ran down her face. You and your friends. You keep saving us. Hyun came running. He scooped up his daughter, but he was looking at Takresh. You did not have to do that. You were already paid, already honored. You could have left. Children were in danger, Takresh said simply. That is only reason needed. More children came forward. They stared at the Vral warriors with wide eyes. Not with fear anymore. With something else. Curiosity, gratitude, wonder. One small boy, maybe 4 years old, walked right up to Rekthar. The huge wounded warrior looked down at the tiny human. The boy held out a candy. Something bright and colorful. For being brave, the boy said. Rekthar stared at the offering. He had no idea what to do. Finally, he took it with one clawed finger, looked at it, looked at the boy. Thank you, small one. The boy smiled and ran back to his mother. Taeyang arrived. The colony administrator looked at the carnage. The dead beasts, the wounded warriors, the scared but safe children. She made a decision quickly. Get these warriors to the medical center immediately. Full treatment. Whatever they need. They are heroes of this colony. They will be treated as such. Ma'am, the medical center is for colonists. Someone started. They are colonists now, Taeyang said firmly. By my authority as administrator, any Vral who wishes to stay in this territory is welcome. They have earned it with blood, with honor, with sacrifice. She looked at Takresh. You could have left us to die. Instead, you bled for our children. That makes you family, if you want it. Takresh looked at his pack. They were all watching him, waiting for his decision. They had followed him into something impossible, a war that was not theirs. The medical center smelled strange, clean, sterile. Nothing like the jungle or the fighting pits where Vral warriors usually recovered from wounds. Takresh opened his eyes slowly. Everything was white and bright. It hurt to look at, easy, a soft voice said. Soon he appeared above him. She checked something on a screen beside his bed. You've been asleep for 2 days. Your body needed time to heal. Takresh tried to sit up. Pain shot through his shoulder. He growled and fell back. I said easy, soon he repeated. She had that tone that healers everywhere seemed to have, the one that said they would strap you down if you did not behave. We had to do surgery. The beast's teeth damaged muscles and nerves. You're lucky to still have the arm. Rekthar, Takresh asked. His throat was dry, alive, recovering. He's in the next room. Been asking about you every time he wakes up. Soon he smiled. Very loyal. All your pack members are. They've been camping outside the medical center. Won't leave until they know you're okay. Takresh felt warmth in his chest. His pack, his family, they had stayed. The children? He asked. All safe. Not a single one hurt. Thanks to you and your warriors. Soon he poured water into a cup and helped him drink. You're something of a legend now. The children draw pictures of you. They call you the Dragon Guardian. Dragon? Earth mythological creature. Looks a bit like you, powerful, protective, usually guards treasure. But in this case, the treasure is them. Takresh thought about this, being compared to a legend, being seen as guardian rather than monster. It was strange, but not unpleasant. The door opened. A small figure rushed in before anyone could stop her. Jiwoo climbed onto a chair beside his bed. She had a book in her hands. "You're awake," she said happily. "Daddy said I could visit if you woke up. I brought a book. Want me to read to you?" Takresh looked at Sunhee. The healer shrugged. "Doctor's orders. Keep the patient calm and happy. Apparently you're calm when she's around." "I do not understand," Takresh said. "Your heart rate drops when she visits, even when you're unconscious. Your body knows she's safe, knows she's important to you." Soon he gathered her supplies. "I'll give you some time. Call if you need anything." She left. Jiwoo opened her book. It had pictures of creatures and humans having adventures. She began to read. Her voice was high and sweet. She read slowly, sounding out big words. Sometimes she got them wrong, but she kept going. Takresh listened. He did not understand half the story, but he understood the important part. This small human was not afraid of him anymore. She sat beside a predator that could kill her without effort, and she read him stories about heroes. After 3 stories, Hyun came to get his daughter. He looked tired but happy. "Come on, Jiwoo. Let Takresh rest. Can I come back tomorrow?" "If he wants visitors, yes." They both looked at Takresh. He nodded slowly. "Yes, come back. Bring more stories," Jiwoo beamed. She carefully patted his good arm and left with her father. Hyun paused at the door. "Thank you," he said quietly. "For everything. For saving her twice. For staying. For being exactly what we needed when we needed it." "I did what any warrior would do," Takresh replied. "No. You did what any good person would do. There's a difference." Hyun smiled. "Get some rest. You've earned it." Over the next week, Takresh healed, slowly but steadily. Human medicine was impressive. They had drugs that helped bones knit faster, treatments that prevented infection, physical therapy that rebuilt damaged muscles. Rekthar recovered in the next room. The 2 warriors talked through the wall. About the battle. About their pack. About this strange new life they had found. "The humans are not what I expected," Rekthar admitted one day. "I thought they would be weak, afraid, but they fight well. They protect their own with fury that matches ours. Better than ours in some ways," Takresh said. "They extend protection to anyone they choose. Not just blood family. Not just same species. Anyone who earns it. Is that good or bad? I do not know yet. But it is interesting." Youngsu visited often. He spent hours teaching Takresh more human language, teaching him about human culture, human history. The old researcher was endlessly curious about Vral culture too. He asked questions, took notes, built understanding between species. "Humans almost destroyed themselves once," Youngsu said one day. "Wars over differences, over resources, over stupid things. We learned the hard way that cooperation is better than conflict, that including others makes everyone stronger. Vral believe in strength through combat," Takresh said. "Winner takes all. Does that make you stronger? Or just more alone?" Takresh had no answer to that. Other colonists visited too. Minna came with reports on how the colony was rebuilding. Day came to discuss future defense plans. Taeyang came to officially make the Vral Pack citizens of New Busan Station. "You'll have full rights," she explained. "Hunting territory as promised. Homes if you want them. Voicing colony decisions. In exchange, you help defend the colony and follow our laws." "What laws?" Takresh asked carefully. "No killing of colonists. No theft, no unnecessary violence. Standard stuff. I don't think it'll be a problem for you. You've already shown remarkable restraint." Takresh agreed. The laws were reasonable, honor-bound. His pack could follow them. But the most frequent visitors were the children. They came in small groups, always supervised by adults, but they came. They brought drawings, treats, small gifts. They asked questions. "Do you eat people?" One boy asked. "No. Vral do not eat intelligent species. That is forbidden." "What do you eat?" "Meat from animals, cooked or raw." "I like cooked better," the boy said seriously. "Raw meat is yucky." The children slowly lost their fear. They saw the Vral warriors as big scary creatures that were actually nice, like the dragons from their stories. Dangerous but protective. One afternoon, Jiwoo came with something special. "I made this for you," she said shyly. She held out a bracelet made of colorful beads. "The colors mean family and the bracelet code we use. See, blue for trust, Red for courage, yellow for friendship, green for growth. Takaresh looked at the tiny bracelet. It would never fit on his thick wrist. But that was not the point. She had made it, for him. To say he was family, he carefully took it. Thank you, small one. I will treasure this. Do Vral have family symbols? She asked. We do. But they are permanent. He showed her the scars on his arms. Each one was a mark, a story, a connection to his pack. We mark our scales to show bonds. Does it hurt? Yes, but pain reminds us of commitment, of promises we keep. Jiwoo thought about this. I think your way and our way are both good. They both mean you care enough to show it. From the mouths of children, Takaresh thought, comes wisdom. After 2 weeks, he was cleared to leave the medical center. His pack had prepared a space for them at the edge of the colony. Not inside the walls, but not far from them. A compromise. A place where they could be Vral, but also be near the humans they had sworn to protect. The colony threw a feast. Everyone came. Food was shared. Stories were told. Human children played with young Vral warriors, and no one seemed to think it was strange anymore. Yun raised a glass. To our newest citizens, to the warriors who showed us that family is more than blood, that courage is more than fighting, that sometimes the bravest thing is to protect rather than destroy. To Takaresh and his pack, the crowd shouted. Takaresh stood. He was not good at speeches, but he tried. We came to this moon to hunt. We found something better. We found purpose. We found that true strength is not in how many enemies you kill. It is in how many friends you protect. You humans taught us this. You who turn enemies into family. You who guard your own with such fury. We understand now. We understand why you fight so hard. Because you choose to care, and that choice makes you stronger than any predator could be. He paused. We are honored to be your family. We are honored to guard your young. We are honored to stand beside you. The crowd cheered. Later that night, Takaresh stood at the edge of the forest, looking at the colony lights, at the children playing in the safety of their walls, at the future that had somehow included him. Soon he found him there. Thinking deep thoughts? Thinking about choices, he said. All my life I followed instinct, hunted, fought, killed, because that is what Vral do. But then I found one small human child in the forest, and I chose something different. That one choice led to all this. Do you regret it? No, but I wonder who I would be if I had chosen differently. If I had left her, if I had walked away, you'd be a different person, smaller, less important, less loved. Loved? Soon he gestured to the colony. Look at them. Those children. They love you. Not what you can do for them. Not what you represent, just you, the big scary warrior who keeps them safe. The dragon who guards them. Takaresh watched a group of human children teaching some young Vral how to play a game. They were all laughing, all mixed together without thought of difference. On my world, he said quietly, Vral young are taught that other species are lesser, that we are apex predators and everything else is prey or competition. But watching these children, they see no such divisions. They see friends, playmates, family. Children usually see clearer than adults, soon he said. We burden ourselves with history and prejudice and fear. They just see possibilities. Then perhaps we should learn from them. Perhaps we should. Jiwoo came running over. Takaresh, we're starting a game.